and to increase resilience. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development puts people and planet at its center and embraces three dimensions of sustainability: the economic, social, and environmental, to tackle changes and challenges, including in the world of work and its future. Decent work is more than just a goal. It's a driver of sustainable development. So we now look ahead to chart the way forward towards a better and more sustainable future for all. Governments, workers, and employers will have a crucial role, but we all need to do our part and take action towards a future that works for all. A future that advances social justice and promotes decent work for all. A future that is bright and sustainable and that leaves no one behind. We are proud and happy that the Philippines is among the 24 countries and the first in Asia to be featured live globally today. There will be a marathon of performances and presentations for 24 hours, moving from one country to another in celebration of ILO's 100th anniversary. So we are now part of a very special moment in history by being here today. And I am excited and looking forward to witnessing what will happen as world-class Filipino talent evoke decent work and key issues in the world of work. So representing all in the UN system here in the Philippines, a big congratulations to ILO on your 100th anniversary. And I now officially open this ILO Centenary celebration in the Philippines. And again, welcome you all to this historic and important event. Mabuhay ang ILO. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much, Ula, and appreciate that for just giving us an appreciation of universal peace, which can only be established through social justice, and filling us in on how difficult and how challenging it is to achieve 100 when you play cricket. I got to get to that, play cricket sometime. The International Labour Organization marks its 100th anniversary with special events, as Ula had said, happening from 24 countries for 24 hours. And today, the Philippines is the first country in Asia to broadcast live globally. We are honored with your presence today. And to reiterate Ula's words, the ILO is the only surviving major creation of the Treaty of Versailles that ended the First World War. The tripartite structure makes the ILO unique in the United Nations system because it brings stakeholders together, governments, employers, and workers, giving them an equal voice in the world of work. And today, here in the audience, that is the representation we have, that tripartite structure that the ILO represents. So show your support, join the conversation. You've got your mobile phones, you've got to share this great moment. I'd like to invite you to tweet the hashtag ILO100. And you can also view the live stream and replays at www.ilo.org/100/tour. So you can post and tweet this event as it goes and as it happens. So in just a few minutes, and I'm going to look at my watch, we're about 2 minutes away from that live broadcast. We will be continuing the global tour all the way from Suva, Fiji, and we'll start to broadcast live. I am honored to have with us in the ballroom, and just to let everybody know, we have over 200 partners and guests, ambassadors and members of the diplomatic corps, the United Nations, government officials, employers and workers' representatives, and partners. And we will be on live in just a moment. As I'd been told, I'd like to give you a little bit of information about the ILO, some facts about it. This is April 11. And it makes us wonder, why? Why are we holding this event on April 11th? That's because the ILO's constitution at the Paris Peace Conference later became Chapter 13 of the Treaty of Versailles. Just let's step back in history. By June 2018, the ILO adopted 189 conventions and 205 recommendations, which have become the framework for national label legislation. Now, at 100 years, the ILO is not just the oldest UN specialized agency. In fact, it is even older than the UN, and it has grown to stand among those with the greatest reach. And for the indigenous peoples, we're represented by the indigenous peoples of my country today. The Philippines is home to 110 indigenous peoples group, and the ILO has been engaged with the indigenous and tribal peoples issues since the 1920s. It is responsible for the Indigenous and Tribal Peoples Convention from 1989. And as we begin our broadcasting of the live event, Mabuhay, we are honored to accept the baton from Suva, Fiji, as we broadcast live from Manila, Philippines. I'm Kathy Yang, financial journalist from Manila. Over the next hour, we will witness world-class talent from my home country, the Philippines. Indigenous peoples, robot dancers, a speech choir, and a poet will evoke decent work and key issues on labor and employment in the Philippines. And to open the celebration to perform for us, let's welcome Asia's Got Talent's first ever grand champion, the Gamma Penumbra.
You own whatever land you land on. Earth is just a dead thing you can claim. I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, or ask the grinning bobcat why he grieves? Can you sing with all the voices of the mountain? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? How high does the sycamore grow? If you cut it down, then you'll never know. And you'll never hear the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, for where the wind comes, cotton skin. Need to sing with all the voices of the mountain. You need to paint with all the colors of the wind. You can own the earth and still all you'll own is earth until you can paint with all the colors of the wind.
Thank you, Gamma Penumbra. It was great seeing it from this side of the stage, just seeing all that action happening. Passion. This is what indigenous peoples of the Philippines have in them. They share a distinct relationship to their lands, and their indigenous knowledge, systems, and practices of protecting the environment are vital. Today, we will witness ancient calligraphy and traditional poetry of the Ambahan ancient calligraphy and poetry from Mindoro, and a unique indigenous cultural dance of Babinawaran dance troupe from Kalinga. The dance we will be watching depicts a message of peace and unity among the people. The dance requires the gong instrument that has to be played in unison. The dancers may come from different tribes, but they dance as one Kalinga people, living in peace and prosperity.
Kabaya kang manok, si karasasa. Kay ung una pa, may sing-sing, kay wala. Kundagin to sa una, pantabay na kan katida, pakanay Diyos Ama.
Yan, ako timag mata. Nanlugap-gap sa daga, nanarangpat kay panga. Di makakorte tida, kang way sir ipon mata, kang way kabliton wala. Kawayan sa may inwag, puundangan lugalag, panggamot di kaayat, sa daga mabanayat.
Ang ibig po sabihin ng ambahan na ito ay nagpapasalamat kami na naging kaisa kami sa pagdiriwang na ito. Ang hiling po namin ay suportahan ng gobyerno ang mga programang nakakatulong sa pag-unlad ng mga katutubo, lalong higit sa aming karapatan, kilalanin, igalang, at pagtibayin ang ILO Convention 169. Bale.
And so many letters, but all of them are OFW's friends. If I get hurt, alas, abuse of right, I will run to the labor union. My voice will be heard. They will also help me with my wages and benefits. With collective power and actions,
Thank you to our fellow Filipinos from Mindoro. Confronted with challenges such as climate change and search for decent work often force Filipinos to migrate. Migration should be a choice, not a necessity. The ILO supports countries like the Philippines in promoting fair recruitment and a rights-based approach, including ending violence against women and girls. Today, we will listen to the voices of migrant workers and Ms. Novelita Palisoc's inspiring story of how ensuring the safety and fairness of labor migration is crucial for everyone.
Ano nangyayari?
Sabi nga
Start na
nila,
ba?
Berto.
Uy, look at Maria, the young girl from our community.
At 19 years old, she's got big dreams and she wants to leave the country.
Look at my father, breaking his back in the fields. How can I sit around and just stay here? I have to make it big.
Nako, you gotta be kidding. Her father's only a farmer. See, there's Mang Berting with 8 kids in tow. They can barely survive. Now, sige nga, tell me, how Maria will thrive.
Ay, stop it nga! Wag ako, don't me. My dreams are bigger than my poverty.
Nax!
I will help my whole family. My tatay, mano po, my nanay, my ates, and kuyas. And even you neighbors who are a bunch of chismosas. Those who gossip ba?
Nako, sige nga. What will you do? You did not even finish college. So average too.
I may not have finished college, but I have a lot of powers. I can take care of kids. I can cook. I am an all-purpose cleaner. Also, I will fly high to infinity and beyond, to Hong Kong, Singapore, wherever they need a helping hand.
Ha? Become an OFW? OMG!
You wanna know the horrors they face? This bagong bayani.
Before they leave, they're already in debt. Pay this and that. All the recruiters said.
Some women are even harassed and abused with no one to help. They just let it pass.
Huh? And what can they do with their small salaries? They can't afford to go home, the plane tickets, and the fees.
Some are even held hostage with no exit visas and forced to work home before saying hasta la vista.
So listen to us and listen to us good. You're better off here than being an OFW.
Sandali lang, teka lang. That won't happen to me. As long as I know my rights and my employer's responsibilities. I thank you both for your fair warning, but I won't fall into the trap not to illegal recruiting. I will not pay fees for imaginary charges. No representation fees, placement fees, or sino mang who does not fees. Or else I will report them to the authorities. Yes, I know them all by heart. Believe me.
Oh, wow!
In the PH, oh wow, meron tayong OWA. And to help our overseas workers, they will refer us properly to our future employers. There's ILO with EU, UN, and so many letters, but all of them are OFW's friends. So if I get hurt, harassed, or abused abroad, I will run to the labor union. My voice will be heard. They will also help me with my wages and benefits with collective power and actions. Respect and dignity is deserved by everyone. Freedom from abuse and violence must be won. So let our work be safe and fair here in the country and even out there. So don't get scared. I know what to do, for I am an empowered OFW!
Ang taray! I am not a believer thanks to you.
I wanna know more and have options too.
Oh, ano ba ito? Ayun ba?
Hi, I'm Novelita Paliso. I am the president of the United Domestic Workers of the Philippines, and I've been a domestic worker for 19 years. I work as a domestic worker here in the Philippines and for 2 years in Qatar. I work as a nanny, a cleaner, a bus conductor, and a laundry worker all at the same time. As a child, I was dreamt of being a teacher. But my parents, who work as farmers, had a hard time putting us 10 siblings through school. Oh my gosh. So instead, I work as a domestic worker. As a kasambahay, I was treated poorly. I earned so little, had no social benefits, experienced violence, and even sexual harassment. I did not say anything before because I thought I owed everything to my employers. That I had no right to demand for my rights or to express my grievances. Instead, I kept silent. Until a friend invited me to join the union in 2014. I learned as a domestic worker, I have rights which should never be denied nor begged for. That my employers have responsibilities. And more than anything else, that I deserve respect and dignity. Now I found my voice, and I'm helping other domestic workers find theirs. Today, we continue to fight for the full implementation of the Kasambahay Law and the ILO Convention 189 on domestic work. We continue to fight for every domestic worker here and abroad. I have always dreamed of being a teacher, and I realize I have fulfilled this dream. I continue to teach people that domestic work is decent work. Mabuhay ang manggagawang Pilipino.
Thank you, Novi, and to the voices of the migrant workers. Really appreciate that. You know, Novi's testimony is truly inspiring as a union leader and an advocate for the rights and empowerment of domestic workers around the world. Rights at work, freedom of association, and collective bargaining ensure that employers and workers have an equal voice in negotiations and that it will be fair and equal. Voice and representation are key to achieving sustainable development and to strengthening the impact of trade on employment. As we address rights at work, trade and employment, freedom of association, occupational safety and health, and labor inspection, let's listen to Ms. Cookie Tuazon to creatively deliver it for us through spoken word poetry.
Summary of well-oiled hands. X marks the spot they size for measure, counting every treasure. X marks the spot they size for measure, counting every treasure for chest, too heavy for shoulders to pleasure. Every threshold, every threshold has a portion on a game show well played. Wishing rules supplied to all paid fair trade. Someone once said, do not count the eggs before they are hatched. Imagine headless chickens made to fist bump in a prize match. Sasquatch is an idea. Well, Sasquatch. Sasquatch is an idea one cannot clutch on. Catching history planted but never sown. Who can disown the night if they rage against the dying of the light? Only wrong turns can make things right. With all signs applied, visions can clear in plain sight. These hands that build on sand can cultivate lands. These hands that show a fist, sometimes a finger, can command seas to part. These hands catching another. These hands cut loose can shake another, holding respect for social partners. With eyes for pupils, young sisters will trail will. With eyes for pupils, young sisters will sit with skill. Airbrushed windowsills seated in the soul of good deal. They may argue about feet being herded, labor pains for the weak and sheltered, as if they cannot cry hard enough to say what mattered. Battered working class, from dust to dust resounding broken glass. How deafening, how mass hysteria is scattering. Who wants to show and tell the last man standing? Alter the altar of ideals for the shattered. Counter encounters, no end, for dead serious dead ends. They will diffuse cycles till icicles melt. At the foot of the cross, meeting crossroads halfway, no one will go astray. 40 lashes minus one. One by one, they will spread their palms, not to say alms, but to touch yours and say freedom. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Very powerful words there. It's an interesting diaspora when you come to think of Filipino migration. I've been around myself, worked in Tokyo, Hong Kong. I've met all of them represented here today. So it resonates really well. When they sing and they speak from the heart. Every day, 6,000 Filipinos leave their families to work abroad. And the International Labor Organization's view has been that migration should be a choice, not a necessity. Whatever we do, rights at work should be respected. As for the future of work, the ILO estimates that over 18 million jobs face the risk of automation in the Philippines. Automation is changing jobs, so the goal is to make it a change that works for all. As for child labor, the Department of Labor and Employment has set a target to free 1 million children from child labor by 2025. Huge goals, altruistic, but this is our aim under the ILO. Technological advances and new forces are transforming the world of work. The Global Commission on the Future of Work proposed a human-centered development agenda guided by a rights-based and gender-balanced approach with a focus on investing in people's capabilities, institutions of work, and decent and sustainable work. The ILO supports in addressing gender inequality in the technology-enabled jobs of tomorrow. ILO Women in Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics program, a future that works for all, and seeks to increase opportunities for women and girls in technology through scholarships and various training. To share about how technology is changing the lives of women, let's welcome 4 women of tech, Kim, Lei, Veronica, Raquel, as they share their stories on #WomenCanDoIt. We will also witness a tech-inspired performance by the Manila-led Tron Dancers.
I'm Kim, Director of Women Who Code Manila, a global community of women inspiring women to excel in their tech careers. At Women Who Code, we help women learn new tech skills in a mentoring environment. We are working together with the ILO Women in STEM program to open more opportunities for women and girls in tech. As women, we need to help each other to get more women into tech because tech is the future of work.
Hi, I'm Lei Bautista. I'm co-founder of a company called Tactile Studios, and we're a gaming company. Before that, I was a lead singer of an all-girl band in the 90s called Prettier Than Pink. Between rocking out and creating a game, it's very difficult to actually be successful in a male-dominated industry. That's why Tactile Studios, together with the Game Development Association of the Philippines, have partnered with ILO Women in STEM to provide programs that ensure women's success. So let's all join together, government, private sector, and workers, to ensure a future for all.
I am Veronica Panganiban. I am 38 years old, a single mom. A fire burned out my stall in Taytay Public Market, and I lost everything. Luckily, I found out about the scholarship in digital commerce of the ILO Women's STEM program. I don't have any idea how to do work on a computer. But look at me now. After the training, I can do social media marketing, website design, graphic design, PowerPoint presentation, and design logo, and many more. Kung kaya ko, kaya lahat ng babae na magtrabaho sa tech. If I can do it, so can you.
I am Raquel Garcia Ributar, 64, soon turning 65. I am passionate about teaching as I am about learning. I am a student of the Game Development Scholarship Program, which is helping me to learn to create games, to teach children to read. For me, learning is a lifelong endeavor, and age is no barrier to learn new skills. Women should not be afraid of technology. It is the future of work. It is for the women of today and of tomorrow. And we all should be prepared for it. In behalf of the 100 women scholars of this program and the girls of the future of work. Thank you, ILO Women in Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics program.
Thank you to the Manila-led Tron dancers and our inspiring women in tech. I'm sure you got a lot of snaps there, those pulsating lights. It's time to hashtag it at ILO 100 if you haven't. Do share this historic event as we share with the world the 100 years of the ILO. And we're right here in Manila, Philippines for that. So hashtag Manila, Philippines as well. When we talk about the future of work, we look at our children. They are the future and the new generation. However, in the Philippines, over 2.1 million children are at risk in many aspects, mostly because of child labor. They are usually engaged in hazardous work, farms and plantations, dangerous mines, on the streets, in factories, in private homes as child domestic workers. Child labor deprives children their potential and their dignity that is harmful to their physical and mental development. We dream of a future without child labor. To give a voice to the children, let us listen to the voices of Teatro Sikreto Ang Pangalan from Caloocan High School as they perform a speech choir performance entitled, "Children Are More Precious than gold.
Malaya! Where is Malaya? Have you seen Malaya?
Where is Malaya? Have you seen Malaya?
I found clearing stones. I hope these are golds.
Malaya? Is that you? Are you Malaya?
I am a child worker working in mining site.
We are here to help you, we're here to rescue you, we care. Are you?
Why will you rescue me? I am just doing my job. Please, leave me alone.
How did you get there? It's so deep down there.
I am a child miner looking for gold.
Gone are the days of a mountain sacred. Machines dug holes, its gates blasted. From its cusp, children gather the rubble with crumbs. Compared to the king's soul, crush after crush, after crush, after crush, after crush. A child forced a gold rush, with no time for laughs or games to play. Crushing and crushing rocks, night and day.
You're supposed to be in school, learning your lessons. But I need to earn money in order to live and to buy food for my family. Please, leave me alone.
In fairy tales, dwarves bag the gold. In real life, child miners are left out in the cold. Hauling rocks heavy, pointed and dirty, a false promise of riches aplenty. Mining seems the worst thing ever. Mining takes the lives of child workers. More than any worst form of child labor, mining extracts returns to favor. He looks so pale and thin. Fumes destroy his lungs and skin. The small amounts of money he earned from mining is not enough to buy him medicine. Poverty lives in the neighborhood. Parents have no livelihoods. Child miners get abused, get abused, get abused, get abused twice over. They hardly receive their wages as workers. Safety and health don't matter. They have gold, but leave us paupers.
Ah! Blood! My hand! Please get me out! I cannot find my way out! We are here to help you, we're here to rescue you, we care for you! Help!
We are here to help you, we're here to rescue you, we care for you.
Please!
We are here to help you, we're here to rescue you, we care for you. We are here to help you, we're here to rescue you, we care for you.
Help!
Do you hear the tiny voice of a weak child looking for gold? It is the voice of million children who are being exploited. Why allow them risk their lives in dangerous mining sites? Why rob the joy of their childhood and their future dreams? Is there a better life waiting for them? Malaya! Thank God you're alive!
Malaya is now safe!
Praise God is alive! We are are now here at the mining site with a child rescued from being trapped from the bondage of child labor.
The entire community, parents, teachers, workers, employers, unions, media, civil society organization, government official, public servant, and people of faith. They have taken action to help Malaya to escape the danger of child mining.
What happened today in this site is an example of what we can achieve if all of us unite and work together for the welfare of our children.
Children are far more precious than gold, so we need to bring them back to the fold. Health, education, security, and services, basic needs. Children we provide with no less. Children are far more precious than gold, so we need to bring them back to the fold. Health, education, security, and services, basic needs. Children we provide with no less. Children are far more precious than gold, so we need to bring them back to the fold. Health, education, security, and services, basic needs. Children we provide with no less. We commit to ourselves and SDGs to end child labor in our communities. Our battle cry, our pledge, dito sa pinakamamahal naming bansang Pilipinas, sa bawat taon, sa dibi ng 1 milyong batang Malaya. Parents, teachers, workers, employers, media CSOs, government and children, let's work as one brethren, as we commit to end child labor. Children are more precious than gold, written by Julius H. Inglet. Let's work as one brethren, as we commit to end child labor. We are Chatong Sikretong Pangalan of Caloocan High School. From Caloocan City, Philippines, we support the fight against child labor. Till next time!
Well, that was a lot of energy, isn't it? A lot of children and our teenagers just reminds us of all the millennials in this country. If you notice, there are a lot of them that makes this country go round, and also changing the demographics and the way work is done here in the Philippines because of the young people. Show our support. Let's show our support for the young people. Join the conversation, tweet, post, and if you haven't, just use the hashtag ILO100. And for friends who hadn't been able to come over here, you can let them view the replay and the live stream as it happens as we speak at www.ilo.org/100/tour. So recap, that's hashtag ILO100. So tweet or post using that hashtag. The ILO started as a dream turned reality a century ago. 100 years on, the ILO remains committed to its vision of advancing social justice, promoting decent work. We face major challenges because of the swift changes affecting the world of work. These challenges will certainly have a major impact on the creation and the destruction of jobs. Throughout its history, the ILO has repeatedly demonstrated creativity and a remarkable capacity to adapt to the changing circumstances. Despite all the challenges, decent work for all is still possible, but we have to make it happen. We have almost come to the grand finale of our centenary celebration in Manila, and we are excited to see what will happen in Beijing, China, as the next stop of the ILO 24-hour global tour. With their innovative and creative talent, let us welcome back on stage the Gamma Penumbra with their shadow play masterpiece of the ILO Centenary entitled, We've Got a Vision.
Wild dreams turn reality. A new way from ashes of the old. For the people who don't have all the riches, it's the right to live and not simply exist. But we want the bread and we need decent work too. I'll stand here beside you to guide you across all the rubble. I'll be a partner, universal peace, seeking social justice. 'Cause together we're strong and it won't be long. No, the new age is here, and we've got the vision. All the justice we've been bridging, make a better way. 100 years on this mission for the human condition. Read all about it. The world is a place you can't survive without a living. This world is a place you can't survive without a living. No, no. Together we can make it, and together we persist. Together we can make it. Together we persist. We'll go as far as we can. We've been working for this chance, better future, better ways. We deserve better days. Gonna make it happen. So many voices say the same. Let's be the change tomorrow brings. The new age is here, and we got the vision. All the justice we've been bridging, make a better way. 100 years on this mission for the human condition. Read all about it.
The wild, wild dream turned into reality. From the ashes of the old to the people who need the right to live and not simply exist. But we want the bread, but we need decent work too. I'll stand there beside you to guide you. I'll be your partner in peace, 'cause together we're strong and it won't be long. The ILO, 100 years strong.
New age is here, and we've got the vision. All the justice we've been bridging, make a better way. 100 years on this mission for the human condition.
Oh, 'cause we got.
New age is here.
Whereas universal and lasting peace can be established only if it is based upon social justice.
Considerando que existen condiciones de trabajo que entrañan tal grado de injusticia, miseria y privaciones para gran número de seres humanos.
以致产生如此巨大的动荡，使世界和平与和谐遭受危害。
Принимая во внимание срочную необходимость улучшения этих условий.
Par exemple, en ce qui concerne la réglementation des heures de travail, la fixation d'une durée maximum de la journée et de la semaine de travail,
Regelung des Arbeitsmarktes, Verhütung der Arbeitslosigkeit,
وتوفير أجر يكفل ظروف معيشة مناسبة.
protección del trabajador contra las enfermedades, sean o no profesionales, y contra los accidentes de trabajo.
La protection des enfants, des adolescents et des femmes.
Пенсии по старости и инвалидности.
Protection of the interests of workers when employed in countries other than their own.
Anerkennung des Grundsatzes gleicher Lohn für gleichwertige Arbeit.
承认结社自由的原则。
Organización de la enseñanza profesional y técnica y otras medidas análogas.
Attendu que la non-adoption par une nation quelconque d'un régime de travail réellement humain
is an obstacle in the way of other nations which desire to improve the conditions in their own countries.
فإن الأطراف السامية المتعاقدة تقرر مدفوعة بمشاعر العدالة والإنسانية.
А также желанием обеспечить прочный мир во всем мире.
并为实现本序言所提出的各项目标
Agree to the following constitution of the International Labour Organization.
The ILO has a constitutional responsibility to build a future of work which corresponds to our mandated goals of social justice. We have 100 years of experience in making our world a fairer, safer place to work and a better place to live.
The Philippines has a fast-growing population with over 101 million. Almost 2/3 are of working age. Findings of the Decent Work Country Diagnostics in the Philippines revealed that 24 million of the working age population are not in the labor force. Women account for a large share at 68%. Total employment reached 38 million in 2015, and only 40% are women. Majority of those employed are in the service sector, 29% in agriculture, 16% in industries. Of great concern is vulnerable employment at 38%, mostly self-employed and unpaid family workers with limited labor rights and social protection. Gaps remain in applying international labor standards, including enforcement as means to ensure quality employment and adequate working conditions. Evidence shows that decent work plays a key role in reducing poverty, inequality, and vulnerability while improving lives and upholding human dignity. The Decent Work Country Program, DWCP, is the ILO support to promote decent work and to achieve sustainable and inclusive growth, consistent with the Sustainable Development Goals of leaving no one behind. 4 key priorities of the Decent Work Country Program. 1. Productive, remunerative, and sustainable work and employment opportunities. 2. Improved labor market governance to ensure rights at work. 3. Equitable social protection available and accessible to all. And 4. Strengthened capacity of workers and employers to effectively influence policy and participate in decision-making process. Together with government, employers, and workers, the Decent Work Country Program takes on a tripartite framework unique to the ILO and results-based approach.
The Philippine Decent Work Country Program shows the commitment of our government to ensure not only employment for all, but jobs that are decent and safe that will improve the quality of life of Filipinos.
We believe that decent work is both a means and an end.
for inclusive and sustainable development.
What is good for the Filipino worker is definitely good for the workers of the world.
Every economy relies on its workforce to move forward. The realization of the Decent Work Country program is equally important to the workers in the public sector as it is in the private sector.
It is our opportunity to raise our concerns and be brought to the legislators and government in all levels in voicing out the issues and concerns towards universal coverage of social protection.
It helped a lot in the organizing of workers, in our collective bargaining negotiation with employers.
A seat is provided for us to discuss tripartite issues, to be more participative and more inclusive.
The Decent Work Country program presents an avenue for Philippine employers to tap into the expertise of the ILO for support in maintaining and promoting corporate social responsibility.
To this program, we endeavor to transform our labor administration system into one that is more result-oriented and progressive.
That would translate into enhanced productivity and achievement of sustainable development for all, where no workers should be left behind.
We thank you for all the tripartite activities that we had, and we hope for more in the future.
The Decent Work Country program is yet another victory for the Philippines. Together, we take ownership of this program and guarantee its success.
And together with the ILO, we dream a better world for everybody in the world of work.
On behalf of the Department of Labor and Employment, I extend our warm congratulations to the International Labor Organization on its 100th anniversary. I commend the ILO for the comprehensive report of the Global Commission on the Future of Work, highlighting new forces transforming the world of work. These forces include technological changes, climate change, and demographic shifts, which call for decisive action. I congratulate the ILO as well for having been able to affirm global commitment to priority issues such as workers' rights, social dialogue, social protection, and social generation. The department joins other nations in taking positive steps forward in ensuring support for ILO's global long-term goal of attaining economic security, equal opportunity, and social justice. I wish the ILO greater rights in the next century and onwards.
The Philippines congratulates the ILO on its centenary year and commends in stronger terms in this age of modern slavery and redoubles its commitment to decent work and social justice. The Commonwealth Philippine Constitution was the first to enshrine social justice as a commitment of state. Since joining the ILO upon independence, the Philippines has been in the forefront of its advocacies. Through the ILO Country Office in Manila, led by Director Khalid Hassan, the Philippine ILO partnership ensured the inclusion of fair recruitment and the decent work agenda in the Global Compact on Migration. A happy centenary to ILO.
My warmest greetings to the International Labor Organization on the occasion of its 100 years anniversary. As we embark on ILO Centenary, I have full confidence that all collaborations and partnerships among member states will continue to strengthen towards fostering social justice, equity, fairness in the international labor front. Together, let us remain committed in promoting decent work and further empowerment of our workforce, for they are the backbone of the growth and development of our country. Congratulations.